As a mental coach and fellow horse girl, I get asked a lot of questions, like all the time. These can be from my one on one clients in my programs, in DMs, people who are curious about working with me. Like, I get a lot of questions, and it's great. I love it. Never be afraid to ask me a question. Now, you know that line from back when you were in school and they tell you something like, there's no such thing as a stupid question because if you're thinking it, well, 10 other people are too. So please ask me your question. And your teacher would say that, about your class, or if you were going to have a guest speaker in, and they'd say, please, we want you to ask questions. Well, it turns out that's true in the horse world as well. So, what better way to serve this community than to answer some of those real, raw, behind the scenes questions out loud? And so, we're going to call this podcast today Ask Nicole. And this gets to be the space where we say the quiet part out loud and talk about what it really takes to ride with confidence, with grit and heart. No filters, no perfection, just honest talk about mindset, confidence, show nerves, and that messiness, the mental messiness that comes with chasing your big goals in and out of the arena. This week's question, I know mindset is important, but what if I still feel nervous before a run? Like, I've done the journaling, I've practiced the visualization, but sometimes the fear and doubt still sneak in. Does that mean I'm not mentally strong enough yet? Whew, let's get into it.
Welcome to the Resilient Reiner, the premier podcast focused on mental performance for equestrians and improved horse show performance. Whether you're a rookie reiner or a seasoned competitor, this show is for riders who want to take their skills to the next level and achieve their full potential in the show ring. I'm Nicole Burnett, and I'm a master mindset coach who's obsessed with helping you achieve all those horse dreams you always thought were impossible. Join me each week to develop a show-ready mindset and gain the competitive edge you need to compete with confidence.
Welcome back to the Resilient Reiner podcast. I'm your host, Nicole Burnett, and I'm so grateful to be back here with you again. We've started Mental Gym for Equestrians, so that's happening this week, and I am so excited to get into that. It's so fun for me to be coaching inside of that container. And so inside Mental Gym, we have the honor of going deep into mindset work. And it made me think that people get to be vulnerable in that space. And that's kind of what prompted this Ask Nicole episode, is that in order to really get the most out of a coaching experience, you have to be willing to be vulnerable because it's awkward. We're digging around inside your mind and you have to go, oh my gosh, I really think that? That's kind of messed up, or that's weird, or is that serving me? Is it not? But you have to be willing to be vulnerable with your skeletons in your mental closet here. And so it got me thinking about people are asking these kind of vulnerable questions all the time in order to really make progress. And I wanted to honor that. So this week's question is about scary feelings here. I know mindset is important, but what if I still feel nervous before a run? Like, I've done the journaling, I've practiced the visualization, but sometimes fear and doubt still sneak in. Does that mean that I'm not mentally strong enough yet? Oh my gosh, what a deep and vulnerable question. And girl, girl, girl. I'm thinking right now about the SNL skit where they have this entire conversation and they're only saying girl. These two girls, and they're going back and forth and they go, girl, girl. But you still know exactly what they're saying, even though they're only saying girl. That's what I'm thinking right now. So if you have ever thought, I need to fix my mindset before I can ride like I know I'm capable of, this podcast is for you. Because somewhere along the way, in the horse world and in the personal development world, we kind of picked up this idea that to ride our best, we have to be fearless, right? That real confidence means never having a negative thought or a moment of self doubt. That you have to banish every freaking drop of fear, eliminate every single limiting belief, blow up every single negative thought in your head. That's exhausting and unrealistic. And let me tell you, as your mental coach and your barn bestie, let me tell you the truth that no one else is saying. It's not about elimination. We don't have to get rid of all these things. What it is about is focus. It's about where you place your attention. We don't need to turn you or turn all of you into Stepford-wives style, perfectly positive cowgirl robots, okay? Like, we don't have to do that. The goal is to stop handing over your power to thoughts that don't serve you and start directing your energy towards what does. So, for example, I took my horse out on a trail ride last week, and I live in Utah. So I had the great privilege of just looking around where I live, picking a mountain and being like, let's ride there. And then we ride over there and then I can just be like, yes, we're going to go up this mountain. It's going to be fun. And sometimes there's a trail and sometimes there's not. But you bring the GPS, it's all part of the fun. And I was working with my young horse and helping him to build up muscle and get comfortable on some steeper slopes. And it was a little scary because we're just installing the four-wheel drive on this horse, basically, my Mustang, and it was a very steep slope. I was totally practicing exactly what I'm preaching right now, where it wasn't about eliminating all the fear. I'd like to pretend that I'm perfect and that I am never scared at all, but I'm still very confident and I'm very good at focus because it's not about eliminating all fear, it's about focus and putting my energy towards what would serve me in that moment. You are going to have fear before a run. You're going to second guess your game plan. You're going to find yourself comparing your progress to another rider's perfect highlight reel on their Instagram. Welcome to being human. Welcome to being a rider. Okay? You are so, so normal. But the version of you who rides in, they enter that pen, they're grounded, they're confident, they just throw down a pattern that feels like flow. It's amazing. That version of you, she doesn't waste time with every doubt, all right? She doesn't spiral every time a nervous thought shows up. She comes back to her own power. She feels the fear, says, hey there, doubt. You're going to be in the back seat, not the front, and just rides on anyway. She chooses to focus on the vision, focus on smooth circles, crisp stops, that powerful presence in the saddle. She doesn't wait for perfect confidence before taking action. She creates it. One focused ride, one breath, one decision at a time. And the more that you do that, the more you stop trying to fix your mindset and start focusing, the more magnetic you're going to become in the saddle. It's not about having to be high vibe or only positive and be totally unshakable 24/7. You're a human. That is just not going to happen. It's about catching yourself when you want to spiral and choosing a different perspective. So the next time nerves hit or a limiting belief is trying to sneak in there when you're loping off, try this. Just stop, just pause, hit pause. I literally hold up my hand and imagine I'm hitting a giant pause button, acknowledge it, be like, thanks. I know you're trying to keep me safe. That's normally these thoughts are about trying to keep you safe. And then shift, just move on. Shift your focus to what you want to feel. Shift to the version of you who knows their stuff. Shift to the ride that you came here to have. Because you didn't come to have a crap ride. I know you didn't. I don't ever show up and be like, wow, my goal today is to have a crappy ride. No, absolutely not. So shift to the ride that you came here to have, which is a good ride. You don't have to eliminate all doubt. You just have to stop letting it steer your horse. That is your job. That is what makes you unstoppable in and out of the arena. With so much gratitude, thank you for being here today with me on the podcast. If you're ready to build your own unshakable confidence that can handle the ups and downs of life with horses, join us in Resilient Rainer Academy, and I'd love to have you there. All right. If you love this episode, share it with a friend. If you hate it, share it with an enemy, and I'll catch you soon.